You've heard it 1,000 times. Communication is the key to a healthy relationship. So you try. You open up. You say, I feel lonely when we don't spend time together. And instead of a hug or a deep conversation, your Gemini partner starts explaining why their schedule has been objectively busy. Or they make a joke about how absence makes the heart grow fonder. It feels dismissive. It feels cold. But here is the secret. You aren't failing at communication. You're failing at translation. Geminis don't process the world through their hearts. First, they process it through their minds. They are ruled by Mercury, the planet of logic, data, and rapid-fire exchange. If you bring an emotional problem to a logical processor without a bridge, the system crashes. Today, I'm taking you deep into the Gemini psyche. We aren't just looking at surface-level tips. We are looking at 5 structural rules that will double the depth of your conversations and finally end the cycle of shutdowns. This is the masterclass on the Mercury-ruled mind. I'm Lee, and this is the Divine Gemini. To understand a Gemini, you have to understand Mercury. Mercury is the fastest moving planet in our solar system. In mythology, he was the messenger who could travel between the underworld and the heavens. This means your Gemini partner has a brain that functions like a high-speed fiber optic cable. They are constantly jumping between ideas, possibilities, and perspectives. When you bring a heavy, slow, emotional anchor to that high-speed connection, their first instinct isn't to hold the anchor, it has to cut the rope so they do in sync. In this video, we're going to slow things down. We're going to show you how to attach your needs to their speed so you move together instead of drifting apart. If you haven't yet, subscribe. We post deep dives like this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Rule number 1. Speak in ideas, not just feelings. Let's look at the why behind this. In cognitive psychology, there is a concept called intellectualization. While some signs use it as a defense, for Geminis, it's a primary language. Let's do a case study. Imagine you're upset because they've been on their phone during dinner. The emotional approach would be, I feel like you don't value our time. It makes me sad that I'm not enough to keep your attention. The Gemini result. They feel guilty, then defensive, then they shut down to avoid the bad feeling. Now, the Mercury approach. I've noticed that our dinner transition has changed. We used to be 100% engaged, but now the phone has become a third party at the table. I'm curious if you're finding the phone more stimulating right now, or if we've just lost our ritual. Why this works? You've framed the sadness as a system glitch. A Gemini loves to debug systems. You aren't attacking their character. You're asking them to help you analyze a dynamic. This invites them into the conversation rather than pushing them into a corner. Rule number 2, the 24-hour processing rule. Most people mistake Gemini's quick wit for quick emotional processing. This is a mistake. Just because they can come up with a pun in 2 seconds doesn't mean they know how they feel about your shared future in 2 seconds. Here's the neurology. When a Gemini is hit with an emotional demand, their brain runs simulations. They think, if I say A, they will feel B. If I say C, it might be a lie, but it'll make them happy. They get caught in a loop of trying to find the right answer rather than the true answer. The solution. You must explicitly grant them a processing license. Try this script. I'm feeling X. I'm not looking for a fix or a reaction right now. I'm just planting the seed. Let's circle back tomorrow at 7 p.m. so you have time to sit with it. This removes the performance anxiety. When a Gemini feels they have room to breathe, they are 90% more likely to be honest, instead of just saying what they think you want to hear. Rule number 3. Use the curiosity approach, which means questions over statements. Statements feel like the end. Questions feel like the beginning. A masterclass technique here is using laddering questions. So instead of telling them they are working too much, ask, how is your energy level with this new project? This is information gathering. Then, do you feel like the balance between your work mind and our relationship mind is where you want it to be? That's self-reflection. And finally, what can we tweak this week to make sure we don't lose our connection? That's a collaborative solution. Why it works. Geminis have a deep need for autonomy. They hate being told who they are or what they are doing. When you lead with curiosity, you allow them to discover the problem themselves. If it's their idea, they will work 10 times harder to fix it than if it was your complaint. Now, let's talk about something that kills Gemini relationships: the texting trap. Geminis are the kings of digital communication, but they are also the kings of ghosting when they feel overwhelmed. The rule: if the topic is emotional, stop texting. A Gemini's brain reads text as data. When you send a long paragraph of feelings, they see a wall of text that needs to be solved. They might wait hours to reply because they are trying to write the perfect response, which you interpret as them ignoring you. The strategy: use voice notes or wait for side-by-side time. Voice notes allow them to hear your tone, which prevents their logic brain from misinterpreting your words as an attack. If you must text, use the headline method. Hey, I have a feeling I want to share later. Nothing urgent. Just wanted to flag it for when we see each other. Rule number 4. Separate the twins, or the dual mode strategy. Gemini is the sign of the twins. This isn't about being two-faced. It's about internal versus external processing. Twin A is the social processor. They are on. They are curious. This is the version of them that is a Mercury messenger. Twin B is the solitary processor. They have gone into the cave. Their mental tabs are full. The secret: if you try to force intimacy when they are in Twin B mode, they will view you as an interruption to their mental peace. So, try this script. You seem like you're in a deep processing phase. I'm going to go do my own thing for a bit. Let me know when you're back in a chatty mood. I miss your brain. By acknowledging the twin without judging it, you become their safe harbor rather than their taskmaster. Rule number 5. Create communication rituals. This is structure that feels like freedom. Geminis fear the talk because the talk has no end time. It feels like an infinite loop of emotional heavy lifting. The solution: create a container. For example, let's take a 20-minute walk and check in. The movement helps the Mercury brain flow. The time limit tells them there is an exit, so they don't have to escape. And the side-by-side nature of walking is helpful because eye contact can be too intense for Geminis when they are being vulnerable. Looking at the path ahead allows them to speak more freely. Final thought: your Gemini partner isn't trying to be difficult. They are just wired for speed and information. When you learn to speak Mercury, you stop fighting and start flowing. Pick one rule, maybe rule number 2, the 24-hour buffer, and try it this weekend. Drop a comment and let me know how they reacted. Don't forget to check the Gemini Masterclass playlist below. I'll see you in the next deep dive.